Hello and welcome to Full Throttle, showcasing the very best of British motorsports from all around the UK at the country's leading circuits. For this edition, we're in the Lincolnshire Wolds at the beautiful Cadwell Park, an absolute roller coaster of a circuit, a real challenge to any driver in any car. Racing today presented by the British Automobile Racing Club and the Classic Touring Car Racing Club, with their various championships for saloon cars of all shapes, sizes and ages. The running order today begins with the pre-66 touring cars, the oldest cars on show today, Minis, Ford Anglias and plenty more. That's followed by the Jaguar Enthusiast Club Saloon and GT Championships, Jaguars of all shapes and sizes in there. Then we've got the pre-93 and 2003 touring cars, mainly BMWs in pre-93 and Hondas in pre-2003 among others. That's followed by the pre-83 Group 1 touring cars, mainly Ford Escorts to the fore in that one, and then the most powerful cars in the Classic Thunder Saloon Championship, mixed in with the Blue Oval Saloon Series for everything Ford. And all repeated again in the second round of races after that. We begin with the Pultec Race Engines pre-66 touring cars, the oldest cars we see here today. And their championship is currently led by the Hillman Imp of James Ibbotson, running in Class E. He's the overall championship leader, of course several subclasses within each of the championships. We'll have a look at the grid then for our first race of the day. The pre-66 touring cars. In pole position will be number 11, Roger Stanford from Hull with his Lotus Cortina. He'll start alongside local man Michael Sheraton at the wheel of his Ford Anglia. Great effort by him in qualifying. Has missed the last couple of rounds, so looking to make up for lost points here. Second row, John McGurk in another Lotus Cortina, number 13, starts alongside another Ford Anglia, number 73, Robin Slater. Row 3, the championship leader. Great effort in qualifying by James Ibbotson, number 87 with the Hillman Imp, alongside Kevin Swan in another of the Ford Anglias, number 63. The cars now on their way to the grid. Row 4, 22 Michael Loveland in the second of the Hillman Imps, and Nathan Williams with his Mini, number 12. Row 5, number 66 Adam Gittings, he's in a Morris Minor, starts alongside 27 Martin Reynolds, long-time old-school Ford competitor, he's in a Ford Anglia. Row 6, number 5 Andy Mesham, long-time Mini racer, alongside Luke Wilson, he's in an Austin A40, number 69. Row 7, Paul Cooper, number 8 with his Ford Cortina GT, alongside 118, which is Nathan Beresford with his BMW 1800 Ti. Row 8 is a veteran of over 50 years racing, Tim Dodwell with his Mini, alongside 53 Stuart Radford with the little Triumph Vitesse. Row 9 is Keith Wright, number 68 with his Morris Minor, and 26 Stephen Evans in his Austin A40. Sharing that car with Brian Bedford. Brian will drive it in race 2. Cars on the grid then for our first race of the day here at Cadwell Park, the Classic Touring Car Racing Club Pultec Race Engines pre-66 touring cars. Like we're going to get the all clear from the marshals at the back of the grid, and off we go with our first race of the day. Not the best of starts by Roger Stanford. It's a good start by Michael Sheraton in the Anglia. They go side by side up towards Coppice Corner for the first time. Into the left-hander they go. Everybody is away well through Coppice into Charlie's. Roger Stanford has just about held his lead. John McGurk is in third place. They're all around the first couple of corners okay so far. Looks like John McGurk in third place ahead of Robin Slater. Cortinas and Anglias fighting out. There's Andy Mesham at the wheel of his Mini, chased by Luke Wilson in his Austin A40. They go up the hill towards Park Corner. Everybody okay so far. Roger Stanford, the East Yorkshireman, leads the way, chased by local man Michael Sheraton in his Ford Anglia. They head into Chris Curve, then it's into the drop at the gooseneck. Third place it is John McGurk. They disappear from sight down into the gooseneck. Here they come. Stanford over the curve, then it's down the hill into the left-hander at Mansfield Bend, this roller coaster of a circuit. Having a look there, Robin Slater trying to take third place, where Ibbotson is fifth, Swan sixth, and Michael Loveland in his Imp in seventh. Roger Stanford leads as they come through towards the mountain for the first time. Sheraton in second place. Slater's all over John McGurk for third position. It's Cortina Anglia. Cortina Anglia, they throw it through the curves onto the mountain, almost getting some air there over the top. We'll certainly see the more powerful cars later on get a bit of air through there. Into the switchback they come through Hall Bend. This is great stuff. Stanford clear of Sheraton, McGurk holding third, then it's Slater, Ibbotson, and a small gap back to Swan in the Anglia sixth. There is ninth, Martin Reynolds, rounding out the top 10 as they come through to complete lap number 1. Roger Stanford, last win here that I remember was about 10 years ago in an E30 M3 BMW. He leads Michael Sheraton by over 3 seconds at the end of the first lap. Here's the fight for second. They're starting to reel Sheraton in now as they come towards Charlie's Bend. Will Robin Slater get the inside run there? Yes, he's up into third. He's got ahead of John McGurk, and James Ibbotson wants a piece of this as well. He's only a young gun in that wonderful Hillman Imp. Slater's through into second place, and has Sheraton got a problem here? Yeah, I think he's slowing down. Michael Sheraton dropping back. He's had endless trouble with this Anglia this season, and I think Michael Sheraton's in trouble. The Anglia dropping down the order. So it's Robin Slater second in his Anglia. Third place is John McGurk. Novice cross on the back of his Cortina, so a relative newcomer to motor racing. You have to wear a novice cross on your car for your first 6 motor races in the UK. Let's have a look at your class leaders. Well, leading Class B will be Stuart Radford. He's the only runner in that category in the Triumph. Class C is being led by Robin Slater in second place overall. Class D is led by Adam Gittings in the Black Forest Minor. Class E by James Ibbotson, and Class F by our overall leader Roger Stanford, who's well out in front in the green and yellow Lotus Cortina. And there's our second place man, a rather lonely race for Robin Slater because he's clear of John McGurk, and McGurk has got his mirrors full of imp. An imp of James Ibbotson looking to keep up his overall championship lead today. He's dominating Class E for the imps. We normally see Freddie Brown, the top man in the Hillman Imp category, but Freddie had some engine trouble at the last round of Brands Hatch and is not out this weekend. Here he comes, out of barn, up towards the line. Roger Stanford has run away with our first race of the day. There's the checkered flag. The Lotus Cortina takes a clear victory in the Pultec Race Engines Pre-66 Classic and Historic Touring Cars. Let's have a look at the result then. Roger Stanford the winner by over 14.5 seconds in the Lotus Cortina, ahead of the class-winning Anglia of Robin Slater. John McGurk just holding off by 1 second. James Ibbotson take third. Ibbotson winning Class E in the Imp. Fifth place going to Nathan Williams in his Mini, ahead of Martin Reynolds. He held off Andy Mesham and Michael Loveland all the way. Adam Gittings winning Class D, last man on the lead lap, and Paul Cooper rounding out the top 10. Nathan Beresford was 11th in his BMW, ahead of Keith Wright in the Morris Minor. Steve Evans and Tim Dodwell rounding out the 14 finishers because we lost Luke Wilson into the pit lane in his Austin A40. Also, there were a couple more retirements. They were Stuart Radford, Kevin Swan and Michael Sheraton. We lost Michael Sheraton with a problem early on. Kevin Swan pulled into the paddock and Stuart Radford into the pits in the little Triumph Vitesse. And we will hand over very shortly to Park Ferme and be able to hear from our race winner Roger Stanford. He's talking to Steve Jameson.
Welcome back to Park Ferme. Roger Stanford, what a fantastic race that was from you there.
Well,
A big lead, how did it feel?
it wasn't a race, it was a walk in the park, really. I'm very familiar with this place. I've been here a couple of times before, you know. I know every blade of grass is, really.
I think it showed, didn't it? And on a track like this, which is so unique in British motorsport, that gives you a little bit of an edge, doesn't it?
It's my edge, it's my track, I love it. I love Cadwell. I always come back to Cadwell. I'm local to it, well, I'm not that far away. And I just enjoy it. I enjoy the people, I enjoy the track, I enjoy the day out. It's fantastic.
Good to hear from the very experienced saloon car racer Roger Stanford there. Out come the Jaguars then, so let's have a look at the grid. And in pole position will be number 7 Tom Lenthal with his Class C XJS, alongside the man we've just heard from, number 4 Tom Robinson in his Class D XJR Saloon. Second row of the grid, number 24 Michael Seaborn, the overall championship leader at the moment. He's in Class B for the less modified cars, alongside 44 of Guy Connew. Row 3, number 11 Michael Holtz and number 1 of James Ram, the reigning champion. Fourth row 54 Rick Walker in his XJS, and Derek Pearce number 58 with his XK8. Row 5, number 40 Dean Sewell, the first of the Class A cars. That's the road standard cars. It goes Class A for for standard cars, up to Class D for fully race modified. 42 Roger Webster alongside him. Good to see him back out with a new paint job on his XJS this weekend. And number 50 Matthew Davis. Welcome back to him. First time we've seen him out since the season opener at Silverstone, where he unfortunately suffered a fire. Now he is back out for this one. There's a couple of cars here that are unfortunately withdrawn after problems in qualifying. 32 Nick Strong and number 92 Michael Atkinson. They will not be starting this race, unfortunately. The lights go out and we are underway. The Jags are unleashed. A poor start by Tom Robinson. Right out into the pit lane exit goes Guy Connew. Terrible start by Robinson. He's gone backwards as the Jags head up into Coppice corner for the first time. It's going to be slip and slide for these big cars. Tom Lenthal has got the lead. Seaborn up into second. And Tom Robinson, it looks like, just couldn't get the power down from his supercharged 4-litre engine there. You can see how damp it is as they make their way tentatively into Park Straights for the first time. So let's see if Robinson can use the power on the straights to fight back. He's going side by side there with Guy Connew, number 44, in his awesome Trans Am lookalike. There is the number 11, Michael Holtz. We normally see former champion Colin Philpott racing that car, the Powerbell Motorsport XJS, but Michael taking it over this weekend. Trying to go for the outside is Tom Robinson. He's going to go round the outside of Bob Tullius, aka Guy Connew, there as well. As he's got through, but it's Tom Lenthal who leads. Michael Seaborn in second in the Class B XJ40. Class A for the road standard cars, then Class B a bit more modification, right up to Class D, which is the fully race modified machines. Fourth place is Robinson. Fifth we've got Guy Connew and James Ram, the reigning champion. Second, look at that, the leader sideways, and Michael Holt's gone straight on at the hairpin. He loses out to Tom Robinson. There is no grip there under the trees at all. Just look at the way they are sliding. It looks spectacular, but it is very scary for these drivers. First two have broken away. It is Lenthal from Seaborn by just under a second. And we've had a change for the lead. Michael Seaborn has got through. He's got ahead of Tom Lenthal. It's the XJ40 that leads the way. What a great drive by the Castrol liveried car. Michael Seaborn, number 24, the man from Swindon. Tom Robinson, though, he's closing up. You can see how the job he's having trying to get the power down from that car. The rear wheels are just spinning up every time he puts his foot down. Into the hairpin. What's going to happen this time through the hairpin? Are they going to make it through? Seaborn wide over the curve. It is so slippery there under the trees. And look at Robinson sideways, almost drift style through the hairpin. Holt fourth. Then it's Tullius, aka Connew. Then James Ram. Then Rick Walker. Have to be so slow through that section of circuit. It's Michael Seaborn with the overall lead for the first time ever in this championship. I don't think he's even led a lap overall before. It's a great drive. Tom Robinson trying to close up. Having a look for second place there on the back of Tom Lenthal, so at least he's getting the power down in some sections of the circuit. There's Holtz, then Connew, and Lenthal sideways through Charlie's Bend there. This could be the chance for Tom Robinson. He could go through for second in a straight line. Yes, he's managed to get the power down. He goes through. The more powerful Class D car up into second place ahead of Tom Lenthal. Now it's down to the business of trying to catch Michael Seaborn for the overall lead. Mr. Racer Mark II Jaguar as Robinson. This time he's got the power down. Here he comes and he goes through into the lead. Or does he? Or does he? The next corner's a left-hander. He gets across the front of the number 24. Yes, Robinson has got it. The next corner's a right-hander into Charlie's. But it's Tom Robinson into the lead in car number 4. Finally, the power of that supercharged XJR6 telly. You can hear the whine of the supercharger as he leads Michael Seaborn. This is the best we've seen Michael run in terms of overall performance. He leads the championship overall on 107 points coming into this round. Tom Lenthal is second, so he leads the points in Class C. He's on 95, and Tom Robinson is on 92. He's the points leader in Class D and third overall. Down the hill out of Barn Corner. They're starting to split into two pairs now. Here comes Tom Lenthal. He's surely going to go for second place up towards Coppice Corner. Yes, he's going to go through. Connew ahead of Ram, side by side, out of Coppice up towards Charlie's, and Lenthal's held the inside line, holds second place. Good move by Tom Lenthal. Up into second in lucky number 7. Lenthal pulling away now, and Michael Seaborn's slowing down. Michael Seaborn's got a problem. Oh, what a shame. He was doing so well there, holding third overall, but Seaborn has a problem. I think he's going to be pulling into the paddock this time through, the paddock entrance at the bottom of the mountain. Well, that's going to give the lead of Class B to Rick Walker, number 54, the green XJS. There's the leader heading into Coppice Corner now. So it's Tom Robinson, completed 9 laps. The lead gap down to 4 seconds now. But Tom Lenthal is behind Matt Davis there, lapping his XJR Saloon. That's a Class A car, a road standard machine. Gets out of the way, lets the second place fight through. Lenthal from Connew. The rain really has returned here, it's pouring down now. James Ram in 4th place. Oh, the leader spun. That's Robinson. He must have got a wheel onto the grass coming out of Charlie's there. He's facing the wrong way. Has he hit the barrier? As he clips the barrier there, he's going to try and get going again. Stuck facing the wrong way. This is for the lead now at Park. Oh, and they've tangled up coming through Park. Oh my goodness, they're going off. Heading for the barriers. Hope they'll stop in time. Connew has gone. Did Lenthal keep going? The rain has caught everybody out here. Or is it James Ram? I think it'll be James Ram lead. No, it is Lenthal. There he is. Ram's going to come through as they come up towards the line. We're into the last lap and Ram takes the lead. And you can see the damage there to the front of Tom Lenthal's car where he had that contact with Connew. So there are your leaders. It's Ram. Has just taken Lenthal, whose front bumper's hanging off. Robinson is going again, I think, or we'll have to wait and see on that. Connew's still there in 3rd. He recovered from that spin. Ram eases the XJS through. He's got a lot of experience in this car. Look at it fishtailing around there. There's no grip at all. Through Hall Bends for the last time. Lenthal's still there in 3rd with his bumper hanging, in 2nd with his bumper hanging off. Taking it a look at the slide there out of the hairpin. He's so tricky there. What a confusing end to this first race of the day for the Jaguar Enthusiasts Club, and it's going to be a win for the man from Essex. James Ram comes in to take the victory, the reigning champion. What a chaotic race to win. Tom Lenthal in 2nd, he wins Class C. And as for who's going to be 3rd, I'm not sure. And we'll confirm the results in a moment, the provisional results of that rather bizarre race for the Jaguars. The win going to James Ram by 4 seconds ahead of Tom Lenthal's battered car at the flag. 4 seconds the winning margin. Tom Lenthal winning Class C. Guy Connew took 3rd ahead of Rick Walker, who was 30 seconds back on him. Rick Walker winning Class B. Michael Holt taking 5th ahead of Derek Pearce. Then Dean Sewell took 7th position. He won Class A. 8th was Matthew Davis, a lap down. 9th for Roger Webster. Tom Robinson spun out of the lead on Park Straight, and Michael Seaborn, well, I'm not sure if he made the finish or not. I don't know what was up with his car. Suddenly slow. We had a safety car. I believe it was for him, who got stranded momentarily. And then he got going again, only to stop on the last lap. So I don't know if he'll be classified as a finisher or not. The sun is now out again. You see, the weather cannot make up its mind here in Lincolnshire today. In pole position is the first of the pre-93 touring cars, David Griffin in the Diet Coke liveried BMW M3, and alongside him number 90, the Castrol liveried BMW M3, that's of Ian Bauer. The second row, we've got an older E30 M3, that's of James Everard, alongside number 128 Andrew Neal. Amazing qualifying effort from his modified Peugeot 106 GTI, the first of the pre-03 touring cars. Row 3, 169 Ross Craig, pre-03 in his Honda Civic, alongside former BTCC driver Arthur Forster with his BMW M3. Row 4, 131 Phil Wright, he's in a Honda Civic, starts alongside 117 Adam Reed. He's in a BMW Compact. I wonder why I couldn't spot him on the list. There's a number change there. He's down on my list as number 37, so we'll just change that number. 117 Adam Reed in his BMW Compact. Row 5, we've got 191 Gary Preble, the current leader of the Pre-03 Touring Car Championship, alongside Sam Goodwin with his Vauxhall Astra. Row 6, 56 Andy Sheraton in his Laser Tools liveried BMW, alongside 52 David Nixon in his Rover Tomcat Turbo. And the final car on the grid, John Hillier, number 192, with his BMW E36 Touring. Cars coming up to the grid then for a combined race. The Laser Tools Pre-93 touring cars and the Simply Serviced Pre-03 touring cars. Off they go then, and not the best of starts for James Everett. He gets a lot of wheel spin there. Away they go, and it's Ian Bauer who has got the early lead as they head down towards Coppice for the first time. Don't think Sam Goodwin is there. In fact, the Vauxhall Astra is not on the grid as they head through the first couple of corners, through Coppice and into Charlie's, this varied field of touring cars. And it's Ian Bauer who takes the lead ahead of David Griffin. Running out wide there, that's Arthur Forster, the white E30 BMW, one of the all-time greats of touring car racing, some would say. And a great start by Gary Preble, straight in front of Ross Craig there. He wants to keep his overall lead in the Pre-03s, but it's Andy Neal. Look at him giving chase to the BMWs. David Griffin has taken the lead from Ian Bauer. It's the E36 M3 of David Griffin pulling away, and Ian Bauer is under pressure here for second place from Gary Preble, who has he didn't qualify too well, but has flown through the grid. He's already up into third place. He's gained 6 places on that first lap alone. 2 E30s battling it out further back. There's Preble, the white Honda, chasing Ian Bauer, the Castrol liveried BMW. Replica of the cars raced in the Italian Championship back in the 90s by the likes of Emanuele Naspetti and Fabrizio De Simone. Up the inside goes Preble, though. He's going to go through into second place. He's done it. There's Andy Neal in fourth place. That little Peugeot 106. It's a pocket rocket, that car. He's ahead of Ross Craig in the Honda Civic. And Ross Craig's got through into fourth place. He's through ahead of Andy Neal. I think he did that at Mansfield Bend that time through. The lead gap is down to 0.9 of a second. Preble's taken 1 second out of David Griffin's lead on that lap. He's just in the fastest lap of the race, the Honda pilot, 1:38.479. There go the leaders, and now Preble's moving into position to attack here as they go into paddock. He's up almost alongside. Griffin will have the inside line for Charlie's, and he'll hang on. Lap times are virtually identical that time through, and David Griffin is defending his race lead very well indeed here as he comes towards half distance in this Pre-93 and 03 touring car race. Pre-93 Class D by Andy Sheraton and Pre-03 Class C by Hillier as Preble tries to pull up alongside. He got the better exit from Barn Corner this time. Here they come as Preble got him. Yes, he's done it. It's into Coppice Corner. And the Civic has finally got through as they head through Charlie's Bend. David Griffin down to second. It was the better exit from Barn Corner there that scored for Gary Preble. And they're side by side for the lead once again as they come up Park Straight. Look at David Griffin. He's going for the inside into Park Corner, and he goes through. Did Preble make a mistake there, I wonder, because he was starting to pull away. He must have made a mistake coming through Charlie's to lose ground to Griffin, and the BMW is back in the lead. So he led for just over a lap there, Gary Preble, and now the BMW back in front. They're coming up to lap John Hillier's BMW estate. He will look in the mirrors here at Mansfield Bend. He's going to let them through. They'll get through on the run through into the mountain. Oh no, they won't. They haven't got past John Hillier, and Preble could make a move here going into the mountain. He's back up the inside, and he's got back ahead of him. Oh, David Griffin is not going to be too happy there. He hadn't managed to get past John Hillier in time, and look at the lead that Preble's already opened out. They were bolts there momentarily. There was nowhere John Hillier could go. You can't really move aside on the Mansfield Bend. There isn't room. And Preble's got the lead back again. David Griffin is going to be a little bit annoyed there. In towards the mountain, and up alongside comes Griffin. He's going through. Griffin retakes the lead. Now, I reckon Preble has got a problem. Yeah, that smoke is getting worse. Yeah, Preble's got a problem, I think. David Griffin retakes the lead. Yeah, I think Preble's slowing down. Oh, what a disappointment for Gary Preble. There is something amiss with the Honda. I reckon it's leaking oil. Here he comes towards the checkered flag this time. It's going to be a win for the Diet Coke BMW. Here comes David Griffin. Great fight with Gary Preble. Preble's car hitting problems, and Griffin comes in to take the victory. Good drive by David Griffin. He wins the Laser Tools Pre-93 touring cars. Now, is Gary Preble still going? Yes, he is, and he's just held off Ian Bauer for second place. So he does take second overall. Despite that late engine problem, he takes second, and he wins the Pre-03 touring cars. More importantly, we'll check out the provisional results then of our Pre-93 and Pre-03 touring car race. David Griffin, the winner, completing 12 laps in his BMW, finishing 10.5 seconds clear in the end of the struggling Gary Preble, but he does win Gary Preble the Pre-03 touring car split. Ian Bauer, third overall in his BMW. Then Ross Craig in fourth, and second of the Pre-03s. Andrew Neal's Peugeot was fifth, ahead of Arthur Forster. He wins Pre-93 Class C. In seventh place was Adam Reed. He wins Pre-03 Invitation Class. Then eighth place went to Phil Wright in his Honda Civic. Andy Sheraton got ahead of David Nixon towards the end there for ninth place in the BMW. Pre-93 D Class win goes to Sheraton. David Nixon isn't showing on the timing screen as having crossed the line, so we'll have to wait and see whether he's classified. And the other finisher, John Hillier, in the BMW Estate, winning Pre-03 Class C. James Everard was a retirement. Well, we can now hand down to the Parc Ferme area. There, Steve Jameson is going to be talking to David Griffin, our race winner, and hopefully...
All right, down in Parc Ferme with our overall race winner, David Griffin. That looked like a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. We got a kind of half-ordinary start, got away second and got the lead on the first lap, and I knew Gary was going to be coming pretty hard. And then when he got past, he suddenly started to drop. I don't know what it was, some type of fluid, so it was a bit skatey for a while. Spent a couple of laps next to him, but the BMW, the Dark Coke BMW, came through in the end.
Let's have a look at the grid for our next race, the Shell Oils Pre-83 Group 1 Touring Cars. It's an all Mark 1 Escort front row. Stephen Primetz, the former multiple champion, in number 67 alongside 18 of Mark Lucock. Second row, Simon Jeffs, number 4. He's in a Mark 1 Golf GTI. We'll start alongside number 81, the Mark 2 Escort of Mark Cholerton. Row 3 is David Howard, number 55, with his Jaguar XJ12, alongside 43 Malcolm Best. He's in a Ford Capri. Row 4, number 87, Tim Hayes in an Alpha Sud Sprint, alongside Bradley Bosday in his Mark II Escorts. Row 5, 47, Age Harvey, sharing with his father Tom Harvey in their Mark 1 Escort, alongside 86, Colin Claxton. He's in a Triumph Dolomite Sprint. And row 6, number 6, Anton Martin with his Escort, and 85, Jonathan Corker with his little Datsun. Class B, points there led by Malcolm Best in the Ford Capri. He's out there, the red and white liveried car, as off they go. Down towards the first corner. Good start by David Howard in the 55. 20-minute race once again. Down towards the first corner, then side by side the two Mark 1 Escorts. It is Mark Lucock who's got the inside line into Charlie's. He's got the lead ahead of Stephen Primetz. All made it through there. Primetz chasing hard. Third place is Mark Cholerton. David Howard in fourth place in the Jaguar XJ12. Then we've got the number 4, the Golf of Simon Jeffs, Malcolm Best in his Capri, and then it's the Alfa Romeo driven by Tim Hayes. Mark 1 Escorts to the fore then as they head up into Park Corner. Mark Lucock, his confidence buoyed by that win at Brands Hatch earlier in the season, leads multiple winner and multiple champion Stephen Primet. Running wide there, Bradley Bosday in his Mark II Escort, loses out to Age Harvey. See the novice cross on the back of his car. He'll hand that car over to his father Tom for the second race later on. Colin Claxton in there as well in the Triumph Dolomite Sprints, giving a bit of variety in among the Ford hordes. Anton Martin at the back, he leads the points in Class D coming into this round. Class is based on engine size. That's the two Mark 1 Escorts out front then in this Pre-83 Group 1 touring car race, sponsored by Shell Oils. And look at them sideways there through into the mountain. Lucock from Primet. Primet beaten to the title by Mike Luck last season in the BMW. Through Hall Bend, Mark Cholerton making it Fords 1, 2, 3, then the VW and the Jaguar. Through the hairpin they come. Mark 1 and 2 Escorts, of course, just as famous as rally cars as they are as circuit racers. Very sideways there out of Barn Corner onto the grass there. Mark Cholerton nearly lost it as Mark Lucock leads. Chased by Stephen Primet. A little bit of a lock up there at Charlie's from Stephen Primet. That's lost him a car's length or so. And yes, Bosday has got through past Tim Hayes. He made the move stick on the exit there up towards the mountain. Now he's having a go at Malcolm Best. He's saying, well, Tim Hayes, if you can't get past the Capri, I'm going to have a go instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. 6th place down to 11th, all running together. David Howard's Jaguar is having a quiet race, still in fifth position, but meanwhile, I think Simon Jett. Oh, and there's a tangle there at Barn Corner. Colin Claxton, Anton Martin in the tyre wall. They've tangled there with Age Harvey. Now, can they all get going again? It all bottled up there, coming out of the hairpin. Right, so we'll wait and see what's happened. There'll be yellow flags there at the end of the lap, so no passing through there. The leaders are at the mountain. They'll be greeted by yellow flags, I'm sure. In fact, Lucock's pulled away a little bit there. We'll try and get a replay of that incident at Barn Corner in a moment if we can. See if we can see what happened there. Oh, Claxton, did he make contact with Age Harvey? I think so. It's hard to see behind the trees. And Anton Martin going into the tyre wall in avoidance. So whether Claxton spun and was then collected by Age Harvey, or whether Harvey clipped the back of the Triumph, I'm not sure. And probably that's Mark Chollerton. Chollerton's had a spin. That is coming into the mountain. There's damage to the front of his car there, so he's lost third place. You can see the damage to the right front. He was battling with Simon Jeffs in the Golf for third place. So it's all kicked off here at Cadwell Park. We've got the two escorts up front. And now the leader's gone. Oh my goodness, what is going on out there? Off goes Mark Lucock. That's exactly where Tom Robinson spun in the Jaguar race. There must be oil down. There must surely be oil on the track with all these sudden spins. We don't know who has dropped the oil, if there is any, but that's left Stephen Primet in a clear lead in the escorts. See what happened there. Mark Lucock, I think, just got a wheel onto the grass. Yeah, you can see the dust being thrown up. He's gone wide onto the grass and just round he goes and slides off on the inside of the exit of Charlie's and thump into the tyre wall. Disaster for Mark Lucock. So it's Stephen Primet now in the lead. Simon Jeffs will be in second in the Volkswagen Golf, and Mark Lucock, I think, is out of the race. Coming round towards the checkered flag, round Barn Corner for the last time, up towards the checkered flag. Stephen Primet takes a dominant win in the pre-83 Shell Oils touring cars. 12 laps completed in 21 minutes, 0.238 of a second. Let's have a look at the provisional results. That one, the pre-83 Group 1 touring car, sponsored by Shell Oils. Stephen Primet the winner by 26 seconds ahead of Simon Jeffs. David Howard completing the podium in his Jaguar. He wins Class A. Mark Chollerton surviving a spin to take fourth in his escorts. Fifth place for Bradley Bosday's similar Mark II escort, and sixth for Tim Hayes in the Alfa Romeo. He wins Class D. Malcolm Best in seventh wins Class B with his Capri. Anton Martin, the only other finisher, in his Mark III Ford Escort RS 1600i. We lost Age Harvey, Mark Lucock and Colin Claxton to various incidents. So we can now hand down to Parc Fermé, where Stephen Primet is talking to Steve Jameson.
Oh, welcome down to Parc Fermé, proudly holding his trophy. Steve Primet is with his first win of the season. Stephen, that must feel pretty sweet for you.
Oh, it does. We've struggled so much since I smashed the car to bits last year. Trying to get it working again, and she's working.
She certainly is. Look, it was a bit of a crazy race. It looked very, very close for a while between yourself and Mr. Lucock. In the end, you managed to hold it together and just get it over the line quite comfortably, ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, we had a real neck and neck start, and we went through the first corner side by side, but then he had the inside for the next two, so that put him in the lead, and then I was just chasing, stuck in his boot lid, but there's no room round here. And lap after lap he kept putting it on the grass on the outside of Charlie too, and I kept thinking, man, I've got to sneak past him when he does that, and then it bit him. You know, hopefully Mark's all right. I don't think he's gone in the wall, but you know, it did bite.
So shortly we will be able to give you the grid for our next race. In fact, we can do so now. The combined Blue Oval Saloon Series and Classic Thunder race. It's an all-Classic Thunder front row. Jason West, number 76. He's in his BMW M3, is on pole, alongside 97 Andrew Wilson in his massive Holden Monaro. Second row, 66 Paul Wood. He's also in a BMW, alongside number 5 Jason Hughes in his ex-British touring car Vauxhall Vectra Super Touring car. Row 3, we've got David Griffin. We've already seen him a winner to date in his BMW, alongside Colin Voice, number 121, in his Zack Speed Mark 1 Escort. Then we've got the first of the Blue Oval Saloon cars, 101 Malcolm Harding. He's in a Mark II Zap Speed Escorts running in the Space Frame class of the Blue Oval Saloon series. Starting alongside Andy Robinson in his Craig Lowndes lookalike Ford Falcon V8 supercar. Row 5, number 96, Ian Craig. We've already seen his son Ross racing today. Ian Craig in a BMW M3 CSL alongside Jeff Steele. First saw him race in the 90s in touring cars. He's BMW powered with an E30 M3, another of them. Row 6, we've got number 59, Dan Mackay. He's in a Ford Fiesta, as is James Dunkley, number 22, with his lovely XR2. Row 7, 58, Jack Gadd. He's in a Ford Escort Mark 1, alongside Colin Claxton, number 86. We've seen him in his Triumph already. He's actually leading the points in the Blue Oval Saloon series with his Mark 1 Escort on row 7. Row 8 is William Hunt. He's in a Ford Fiesta, as is number 90, Paul Finney, alongside him. Row 9, 1, 2, 3, AJ Owen. Yes, the Pre-03, normally in the Pre-03 touring cars. We'll explain in a moment why he's out in Classic Thunder with the Honda Civic. Alongside him, 27, Martin Reynolds. He's in a Ford Anglia. And the last row of the grid, Tony Paxman, Mark 1 Escort, and number 6, Anton Martin should be there. Just seen him out in the previous race, so hopefully he's made it out for this one. Ready for a rolling start then, Classic Thunder and Blue Oval Saloon Series. Get ready to be thunderstruck here at Cadwell Park. We are underway, over 20 minutes. Andy Wilson rumbles away in the big Holden Monaro from the front row of the grid as they chase their way up into Coppice Corner for the first time. Two races in one here, the Edmondson Electrical Classic Thunder Saloons and the Burton Power Blue Oval Saloons. The Blue Oval cars led by Malcolm Harding in the Escort in 4th place. There's Colin Boyce with his Castrol Escorts. A few problems on the rolling start, but he's got them fixed now. He gets ahead of David Griffin, our earlier pre-93 winner in the BMW. But it's Wilson in the Valvoline Cummins. Holden Monaro, the Australian beast, leads the way ahead of Jason West. Jason Hughes in 3rd, the current Classic Thunder points leader with his Vauxhall Vectra touring car. Oh, somebody going off, that's Andy Robinson in trouble. The Ford Falcon V8 supercar, a bit too much power I think for Cadwell Park in some of these cars. There's Malcolm Harding leading the Blue Oval split, Paul Wood's BMW behind him, then Colin Boyce, David Griffin, Ian Craig's BMW, the beautiful wide arch E30 M3 of Jeff Steele is next. Oh, and a spin there, Steele's lost it, round he goes, and the exit of Mansfield, hopefully everybody's going to avoid him. Leaders are at the mountain, Jason West on the attack, on the back of that enormous Holden Monaro of Andy Wilson. I think Jeff Steele's got going again, I can't see any yellow flags down there. Through go the leaders of Paul Bench. Hughes 3rd, Harding 4th. He's leading the Blue Oval Saloon split in number 101. He's won their last 4 rounds on the spin overall. Malcolm Harding. Ian Craig's BMW CSL. There's Jack Gadd in his Mark 1 Escort. He's running well. Colin Claxton, AJ Owen, racing in a different series, Civic this weekend. These cars sound absolutely incredible. Echoing through the valley here on the pit straight here at Cadwell Park. There's Malcolm Harding. He still leads the Blue Oval Saloon split. He's under fire from Paul Wood in the BMW. Colin Boyce is up there in the Mark 1 Castrol Escort. It looks similar to Malcolm Harding's car, but Colin Boyce is running in Classic Thunder. And David Griffin. Then it's Andy Robinson after that off on the first lap in his massive Falcon. Noise of these cars is just fantastic, echoing through the little valley here at Cadwell. The leader coming up on some back markers. Colin Claxton moves aside. Claxton's dropped back, in fact. I thought I saw some smoke coming from that car, and yes, Colin Claxton I think is in trouble here. He's dropped almost to the tail of the field now. Yep, we've got 7 minutes of this race still to go, and Andy Wilson is gobbling up the back markers. Will Hunt in his Fiesta moves aside to let him through. Yeah, there's Colin Claxton. He is slowing down, waving the quicker runners through. He wants to continue and try to finish because he needs points. There's Andy Robinson. He's just taken David Griffin. So Robinson's got the Ford Falcon past the BMW. That's into 6th overall now. His next target will be Colin Boyce and then Paul Wood. But Boyce will drop behind these two anyway because he's got that penalty to be applied for starting out of position. Now, can Andy Robinson catch Jason Hughes? I don't think so. They were separated by 17.5 seconds last time through. Oh, smoke there. Malcolm Harding's off. That's the leader of the Blue Oval Saloons. He's in trouble. He blocked up and ran wide there. He's lost out to Colin Boyce and David Griffin, but they're both Classic Thunder cars, so he's okay. He's still leading the Blue Ovalers, because second Blue Ovaler is Jack Gadd, and he's a long way back. So Malcolm Harding saves it there, could have saved himself a race win. The lead gap has come down a bit. Personal best for Jason West. 2.8 seconds is the gap now. And West has caught our race leader almost, so Wilson a slower last lap, but I think he's going to hang on to take the win. Yeah, there must be a bit of rain coming down, that's why he's eased off, but it matters not for Andy Wilson, because he takes the checkered flag, wins the Edmondson Electrical Classic Thunder race ahead of Jason West, who took a couple of seconds out of him almost on that last lap. There is a bit of rain in the air once again, that's probably why Andy Wilson eased off. We'll take a look at the results then of our Thunder and Blue Oval race. Andy Wilson, the winner by 1.5 seconds in the end, just about ahead of Jason West. They both win their classes, A and B. Andy Wilson easing off towards the end. Jason Hughes keeps up his unbeaten run in Class C, in third place in the Vectra. It means he'll keep his points lead in Classic Thunder. And Andy Robinson, after an off on the first lap, coming through for fourth. Paul Wood was fifth in his BMW. Malcolm Harding wins the Blue Oval Saloons despite an off a couple of laps from home at Park Corner. He takes sixth overall and wins the Blue Ovals. David Griffin seventh, ahead of the penalised Colin Voice in 8th place, 9th for Ian Craig's BMW. Last man on the lead lap was AJ Owen in his Honda. James Dunkley a class win in 11th place in his Fiesta, then Jack Gadd also a class winner in 12th. Jeff Steele in the BMW 13th despite a spin early on. Will Hunt 14th and Dan Mackay 15th in their Fiestas. They both win their classes in Blue Oval as well. 16th place went to Tony Paxman in his Escort Mark 1. He was also a class winner. Martin Reynolds 17th. He got a 5-second penalty, I believe. That was for exceeding track limits. Not sure if Paul Finney made it home. We didn't see him take the checkered flag. And Colin Claxton had problems towards the end with the Mark 1 Escort as well. Anton Martin, a non-starter. Sixes, but now we're going to head down to Parc Ferme and hear from our race winner. He's talking to Steve Jameson.
Yeah, in Parc Ferme with P1 and P2. Andy, Jason, a great race. Really enjoyed watching that. Andy, I'll start with yourself. What was that like to be a part of?
Hard work, always is.
Especially around here, right?
We usually do 15 minutes, this was 20 minutes. Someone's bright idea. I could have done without the last 5 minutes, I can tell you now. My mouth's gone dry.
Jason, you started to reel him in towards the end there.
Yeah, it was starting to spit, and this car's great in the wet. So yeah, I was thinking just a few more minutes. Andy was there praying for the countdown to come to zero. I was going another 5 minutes, so it was awesome.
Welcome back down to Parc Ferme. Malcolm Harding with me. That looked like hard work. How did it feel?
Very hard work. You want to be on this side of it.
What is it about this track that makes it so difficult? Because these big machines are tough work at the best of times. But it feels like around Cadwell you just got to work that little bit harder.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever been here as well. So yeah, I've done the best 60 quid I ever spent was this morning, having a little test day, 20-minute test thing, and then it come together and it's got better all day. It's a brilliant track, fantastic.
Great to hear from Malcolm Harding there as we await the cars for our next race, the Pultec Pre 66 touring cars. And here is the grid based on the earlier results. In pole position will be Roger Stanford, number 11, alongside 73 Robin Slater with his Ford Anglia. Second row, 13 John McGurk in his Lotus Cortina, and James Ibbotson with his Hillman Imp. Great race he had in the first race. Row 3, Nathan Williams in his Mini and Martin Reynolds Ford Anglia. Row 4, Andy Mesham, Mini, Michael Loveland, Hillman Imp. On the fifth row, Adam Gittings, Morris Minor and Paul Cooper with the Ford Cortina GT. Yes, they're both there. Row 6, Nathan Beresford's BMW and Keith Wright in his Morris Minor. Row 7, Tim Dodwell in his Mini, Luke Wilson in his Austin A40. Row 8, Stuart Radford's Triumph, Kevin Swan in his Anglia. Row 9, Michael Sheraton Anglia, and it's not Steve Evans in the number 26 car. It will be Brian Bedford driving the Austin A40. It looks like we are missing a few cars from the back, unfortunately. Michael Sheraton is not there. Kevin Swan's Anglia is there. Stuart Radford's Triumph Vitesse is not there. Radford and Sheraton had problems in the first race, of course. Luke Wilson's not there either, the Austin A40, the maroon one. And unfortunately Tim Dodwell's not there either with his Mini. The car's into position then, ready for Sixth race of the day, the second for the Pultec Pre-66 touring cars. Off they go, the lights go out. Decent start by John McGurk, and look at Ibbotson up the inside in the Hillman Imp, but it looks like it is going to be Roger Stanford who holds his lead side by side between the Cortina and the Anglia of McGurk and Slater for second place. They head into Coppice Corner for the first time. It's Stanford who leads the way, from Slater second, McGurk third, Ibbotson fourth. Good start by Andy Mesham, he's got his Mini up into fifth position. See how damp it is by the rain on our camera lens as they head around Charlie's for the first time. Charge their way to the back straight. There's Brian Bedford at the wheel of his Austin A40, the car shared with Steve Evans. Keith Wright in his Morris Minor has dropped to the rear of the field. Here come your leaders up into Park Corner. Robin Slater having a look to the inside. Stanford's going to have to be careful, that rear-wheel drive Cortina. Most of the cars are rear-wheel drive, of course, except the Minis of Mesham and Williams. Slide their way through Chris Curve. Paul Cooper's dropped back a bit in the Cortina GT there, number 8. They drop their way down into the Gooseneck, then down to Mansfield, the Big Dipper section. Two Imps going well here. If it hadn't been for the arrival of the Mini, the Hillman Imp would probably have been a much more successful car, even with its unorthodox rear engine design. Roger Stanford, with the wipers going, leads the way. He loves Cadwell Park, and he's proved it earlier on. Second is Slater, third McGurk, then Ibbotson, Mesham, Mini Racing veteran ahead of Michael Loveland in his Hillman Imp. Good to see Kevin Swan coming through nicely from towards the back. He failed to finish in race 1. Paul Cooper's dropped to the rear of the field, possibly a problem with the Cortina. That's a Cortina GT, not a Lotus Cortina, less powerful Ford Cortina. To the end of the lap they come, completes the opening lap here at Cadwell Park in race 2 for the Pre-66 touring cars, sponsored by Pultec Classic Race Engines. Over the line goes Roger Stanford, leading by 1.8 seconds over Robin Slater. John McGurk in third place. Robin Slater, the top Anglia, behind Roger Stanford. The gap was 2.66. Oh, Robin Slater's pulling into the pit lane. Robin Slater's in trouble. There goes the second place car, sadly. So it's now Cortina's 1 and 2. This is the battle now for second place. John McGurk and James Ibbotson. This is for second place now. Could we see a Hillman Imp on the podium? Next through are the Minis. The sun comes out again here. McGurk making it a Lotus Cortina 1-2. Ibbotson now who's that put into the lead of Class C with Slater in the Class C with Slater in the pit lane? It's Andy Mesham's Mini. So the battle of the Minis is now for the lead of Class C as well. James Ibbotson losing a bit of ground to John McGurk, but it's in the twisties as we saw in race 1 that the Imp is stronger. Cortina still second, but there is a bit of rain going to play into the hands of James Ibbotson and his Imp. Way behind Roger Stanford. He's already gone through to begin his 8th lap. His last lap was a 1:51.5, a couple of seconds slower. And now, as they come down the straight here, the Imp is getting aboard here to try and take second place away. But again, the power of the Cortina kicks in, and John McGurk able to hold second. Over the line they go, separated by 0.8 of a second, these two. Oh, and somebody's had a wallop. That's Keith Wright. What's happened there? Big damage to the Morris Minor. Yellow flags out at Coppice, so no passing there. That's a nasty one. It's rare to see a car off there at Coppice unless he's put a wheel on the grass on the outside and spun it. He was battling with Paul Cooper and Brian Bedford. We'll see. Yeah, he's got a wheel on the grass on the outside trying to get round Bedford. Spins across and wallops straight in. That's a big impact. He's lost a wheel there. And he is very much out of the race. Let's hope Keith's okay. The wheel there with the centre missing. Did the wheel break there, sending it into that spin, I wonder? It's the rear wheel that's gone, so I wonder if the wheel's broken there. And that's what caused the spin. John McGurk's all over the place. It's really coming down now, the rain is, and James Ibbotsson's going to have a go for second. Now James Ibbotson, as we saw in the previous meeting at Brands Hatch, he loves wet conditions. Oh, and McGurk didn't see him there. He tried to stab at Hall Bends. McGurk didn't see him. The impact to go over the grass. Now Hillman Imps do have a bit of a pedigree in rallycross from the 80s and early 90s. So look, there's no grip out there at all, and James Ibbotson's thinking, these are my kind of conditions. Stanford's last lap was a 2 minutes, 1 second. Oh, they both lost it. Oh, Ibbotson's gone. Just as I was bigging him up there, he's lost it. The rain must be really coming down out there now. And there's the cars it's going to play into the hands of, the Minis. Watch those 2 Minis of Nathan Williams and Andy Mesham. Here comes our leader. He's into the last couple of corners then. Roger Stanford surviving the rain, which slowed him up midway through. It slowed everybody up. But here he comes for his double, out of barn corner for the last time. The checkered flag is in sight. It's 2 out of 2 for Roger Stanford in his Lotus Cortina. He has not been led all day. Perfect drive by Roger Stanford. Here's your result then. Roger Stanford the winner by 25 seconds in the end, ahead of fellow Cortina pilot John McGurk. Nathan Williams completing the podium, out-dragging James Ibbotson to the line. They both win their classes C and E. 5th for Andy Mesham in his Mini. Kevin Swan was 6th, ahead of Michael Loveland in his Hillman Imp. 8th place going to Adam Gittings. He wins Class D in his Morris Minor. Just ahead of Nathan Beresford in 9th with his BMW. Brian Bedford 10th from the back in his Austin A40. And Paul Cooper was the final finisher in his Cortina. We lost Martin Reynolds. Keith Wright crashed out and Robin Slater pulled into the pits. Thankfully everybody okay. And the pre-66 Classic Touring cars, sponsored by Pultec Race Engines. Well done to them. 2 excellent races today, dominated by Roger Stanford. And in a moment we can go down to Parc Fermé and hear from him.
Yeah, welcome down to Parc Fermé for the final time for the 66s, once again with our race winner Roger Stanford. Roger, I spoke to you earlier on today and you said race 1 was a walk in the park. What was that?
Another walk in the park, really. Same park, just different walk.
It's not been a bad day for you. I don't think any car has been out in front of you today at any point. It's been about perfect.
Let's be right, I've had it easy today. You know, sometimes you get some of the boys and we do have a bit of a tussle, but you know, the car's performed as it usually does. So I expected it to be there, but it would have been nice to have a bit more competition. I thought the Blue Anglia was going to push me a bit, and you know, it all adds to it. It gets a bit boring out the front, really. But there again, you know, I don't always win. I've certainly finished down the field quite a few times, but you know, the old girl's still going well.
Jaguars head round on their green flag lap. We'll give you the grid for the Jaguar Enthusiast Club Saloon and GT Championship Race 2 based on the result of Race 1. Front row is James Ram and Tom Lenthal, numbers 1 and 7. Second row 44 of Guy Connew and 54 Rick Walker. Row 3 11 Michael Holtz and 58 Derek Pearce. Fourth row 40 Dean Sewell and 50 Matthew Davis, the 2 Class A cars. Row 5 should be 42 Roger Webster and number 4 Tom Robinson, but I don't think Tom Robinson is there. And at the back we've got number 24 Michael Seaborn. Let's have a look as they come through. There's Matthew Davis, the bright blue car. Roger Webster is there. Tom Robinson is not. So his car picked up some damage in that spin in Heat 1. In Race 1, I should say. So he's a non-starter, unfortunately. Waiting for the red lights to go out. And off they go. Down towards the first corner at Coppice, the left-hander. Great start by Guy Connew, but it's James Ram who has the lead. Connew in second. A slower start by the less powerful car of Tom Lenthal, the Class C runner. It's the Class D cars that will find the power in these drier conditions. Connew up to second, and Michael Holt has come through in the Colin Philpott's car into third place, number 11. Lenthal goes down to fourth. Rick Walker is fifth, and already from the back of the grid, Michael Seaborn in the Class B XJ40, the overall championship leader, is up into 6th position. Great start from the back after problems in Race 1. But it's James Ram, the man from Essex, who has got the lead in car number 1. Guy Connew, number 44, in second place. They make their way through the sunshine at Cadwell Park corner, followed by Chris Kerr. There's Matthew Davis. Car back out for the first time since suffering a fire at Silverstone in the first race of the year. Guy Connew defending second place from the number 11 of Michael Holt. Here comes Tom Lenthal having a look down the inside. That's a brave move going into Mansfield Bend. Will he make that stick? I don't think he will. No, it's the 11 car that holds third place. James Ram starting to get away in front then. It looked like he'd settled for fourth place in race one, and then the rain hit. Tom Robinson spun out. Tom Lenthal tangled with Guy Connew, and James Ram said, "Thank you very much, I'll go through and take the win." Derek Pearce hasn't had the best of starts in the XK8 there, he's dropped back. Oh, and Guy Connew goes off there onto the grass on the outside. Also going off is Michael Seaborn over the grass. Was there a bit of contact there for second place, possibly Michael Holt and Guy Connew? I couldn't tell. Seaborn's kept it going, still there in sixth place. Was there a little bit of fluid down there perhaps? There goes the leader, James Ram, completing his first lap. It's Michael Holt up to second now in the number 11. We normally see him in an X300 XJ6 saloon car in green and grey. Racing the ex-Colin Philpott car today, the Powerbell car. Lenthal down to third, then it's Connew. Seaborn still there in sixth, despite that moment at Hall Bend. Chasing now Rick Walker in the very green XJS, the Jaguar Formula 1 green. Here comes Tom Lenthal, the man from Sussex, up the inside into Park Corner, and he's through into second and the lead of Class C. Runs a Jaguar and Land Rover specialist garage in the south of England. Michael Holt goes down to third, second in class. But Michael Seaborn is chasing Rick Walker. He's going to try again as they come through towards the gooseneck. Switches across, Rick Walker across the grass. Is he going to get the car stopped back on the tarmac? Yes, he has, but he's lost the class lead. Now, was there contact there? I do not know. We couldn't see. And there's tyre smoke. Yeah, Michael Seaborn locked up going into Mansfield. I think he was too busy watching his mirrors there to see if Rick Walker had kept going. Lenthal still second in number 7, and Michael Seaborn leaps the mountain there. He got some air there, that's what we like to see. He's chased down Guy Connew. This is the battle now for fourth place. They're in different classes, but Michael Seaborn is flinging that car around like he's in a Mini, not a Jaguar. There's Rick Walker back in sixth place, the 54. Leader's gone through to complete his fifth lap. I think Rick Walker's struggling here. He might well have some damage from that excursion at the gooseneck onto the grass. And here's the fight for fourth. Have we had a change? Yes, Seaborn's got through. Look at the state of that bonnet. He's hit something somewhere. He's got ahead of the 44 of Guy Connew though. And that's a Class B car ahead of a Class D. Class B for the slightly modified cars. Class D is for full race modified cars. So that's showing how much of a leveller the rain is. There's only 5 seconds left, so it looks like we are going to get checkered flag this time. I thought they might squeeze another lap in. Second place battle is nose to tail again, but it is checkered flag. There is the checkered flag, and James Ram takes a double. Right, let's check out the confirmed results of that one then. James Ram the winner by 10.78 seconds ahead of Tom Lenthal, the Class C winner. He finished just 0.6 ahead of Michael Holt. Guy Connew inheriting fourth after Michael Seaborn's off on the last lap at the mountain, but he finishes fifth and more importantly wins Class B ahead of Rick Walker. Seventh for Dean Sewell, he takes out Class A. Derek Pearce surviving a couple of moments to take eighth place. Roger Webster ninth on his return to the series, and Matthew Davis completing the 10 finishers. Okay, I think we can now head down to Parc Fermé in just a moment, where our interviewer Steve Jameson will be talking to race winner James Ram.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. Down in Parc Fermé with James Ram. James, that's 2 out of 2. It's been actually a fantastic day for you in the end.
Yeah, that'll do. yeah, superb. Great start. Guy was coming on quite strong at the start, but managed to keep him behind me, and then eked out a bit of a gap. So it was fairly untroubled, except for the weather. Like we had, as you said, we had the drizzle, and then the sunshine, and then the drizzle, and around the back of the circuit, or front of the circuit rather, under the trees there. It's really it's quite slippery.
Next up we have the pre-93 and 03 touring cars. Results of race 1 sets the grid. In pole position will be number 34 David Griffin. Alongside him should have been Gary Preble. Unfortunately, Gary with engine problems from race 1. He did get to the flag in second place, but he's a non-starter for this one, sadly. Second row, number 90 Ian Bowers, BMW, and Ross Craig, the first of the pre-03 cars in his Honda. Third row, 128 Andy Neal with his Peugeot 106, and number 7 Arthur Forster's BMW E30. On The fourth row, 117 Adam Reed with the BMW Compact and number 131 Phil Wright's Honda. Fifth row, 56 Andy Sheraton's BMW, John Hillier with the BMW E36 Touring. Sixth row, 52 David Nixon's Rover Tomcat, and James Everard, who is back out after failing to finish race one. Good to see the E30 M3 will be out there. Sam Goodwin, I think, will be a non-starter, though the Vauxhall Astra having problems in qualifying. So we are underway then, down towards the first corner. Super starts by Ian Bauer, but it's David Griffin who has the lead. Look at Andrew Neil, that Peugeot. We said that was a little rocket ship, that 106. I think he's gone into second place as they head up into Coppice. He has. Superb start there by Andrew Neil's Peugeot 106. I'd love to know what engine he's got in that. He's into second. He's the first of the pre-03 cars. Ross Craig goes down to fourth overall. Already making up places from the back is the E30 of James Everard. Not such a good start for Arthur Forster's E30. The ex-BTCC man is towards the back, but it's David Griffin in the Diet Coke BMW who has got the lead. Andrew Neil up there in second. Third is Ian Bauer. Now, if it rains again midway through this race, watch for Andrew Neil in the Peugeot. There is Andy Sheraton, the Laser Tools BMW, chased by David Nixon in his Rover Tomcat as the lead group heads down the gooseneck. Look at the Peugeot lifting a wheel there as it comes over the top down into the Big Dipper. Ian Bauer is next. Then we've got the 169 of Ross Craig. Phil Wright is next in his Honda Civic, the earlier shape version, ahead of the BMW Compact of Adam Reed, making his debut with the CT CRC this weekend in the invitation class. David Griffin leads it. Swing their way over the mountain. Just 11 cars out there for this one, and Adam Reed jumps the mountain section there in his BMW. Superb stuff. Ian Bauer's BMW, an ex-Pre 93 champion, as is David Griffin. Ross Craig in there in fourth place, challenging with the Honda. Then Phil Wright in the VTEC Direct Honda, I think that is. There's James Everard, the ex-Roger Stanford BMW E30. Andrew Neil up there in second place, but he's over 2 seconds down on David Griffin. Let's see if the Peugeot can try and chase down the BMW. Can he hold off Ian Bauer in his Castrol liveried car? There's the other Castrol car, the Honda of Phil Wright, and it's Adam Reed. Andy Sheraton in seventh behind them. Up the hill they go. Ian Bauer trying to get into a position to attack Andrew Neil, the second place. He was competing here yesterday in another event at Cadwell with that car, so that got him a bit of extra testing. But Ian Bauer up the inside into the right-hander at Park Corner. He's through. Power of the BMW telling, and up into second place he goes, ahead of Andrew Neil, who still leads the pre-03 split on his debut with the Classic Touring Car Racing Club. He's in Class D, same class as Ross Craig. See the advantage he's got now as Craig up the inside. He's going to get through exactly the same as Ian Bauer did to Andy Neil. He's done by that dazzle liveried 169 of Ross Craig. What an incredible paint job that is. Perhaps it's to confuse the opposition. Certainly confused Andrew Neil. How did he get through there, he's probably thinking. Well, Ross Craig now leads in pre-03. It's been Gary Preble doing the overall winning this season, but I think he's won every race overall in his battles with AJ Owen. He's not out in this one. Well, there's the little Peugeot of Andrew Neil. Great to have him with the CTCRC today. Debut with the club. He's fourth overall, second in pre-03. Let's have a look at the class leaders. Pre-93B is led by Griffin. Pre-03D by Ross Craig. Pre-93C by James Everard, who's up to fifth. Pre-03 Invitation by Adam Reed. Pre-03C by John Hillier, and Pre-93 Class D by Andy Sheraton. And James Everard has got his BMW past Andrew Neil now, so he's third in Pre-93. Now, how far behind Ross Craig is he? 3.5 seconds. Just saw a flash of Craig's car go through there. So James Everard, his lap times are about the same as Ross Craig, so he may not get onto the overall podium here. 2 minutes. But he's going to see the checkered flag this time. Here he comes up to the mountain. Climbs the mountain. Over the top. Only Hall Bends, the hairpin and barn corner to negotiate now. It's going to be a perfect double for David Griffin. We've had double wins in our other classes so far. Roger Stanford in the pre-66s, James Ram in the Jaguars. And joining the double win club is going to be David Griffin. going down towards Barn Corner. Here he comes, the checkered flag is in sight. On his local circuit today, David Griffin takes a double victory. Diet Cokes all round, 2 out of 2 for David Griffin in the pre-93 touring cars. Let's have a look at the results. Provisionally then, David Griffin the winner by 15.25 seconds ahead of Ian Bauer, with Ross Craig winning the pre-03 split in third. Fourth place from the back for James Everard, winning his class in his BMW M3. Andy Neal and Phil Wright next home in their Peugeot and Honda. Adam Reed 7th, he wins the invitation class. Arthur Forster was next, taking David Nixon on the final lap there. And then Andy Sheraton and John Hillier round out the finishers, both winning their classes. All 11 cars go the distance. So we can now hand down to Parc Ferme and hear once again from our race winner, that's David Griffin.
Yes, thank you, Dave. All right, 1 and 2 with us in Parc Ferme. Dave, first of all, I'll start with you. You've done the double, Diet Cokes all round. A fantastic bank holiday for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a physical track that you're always driving around going, is something going to break here? Do you hear sounds? And I can see Ian coming in the mirrors. And so we're trying to do it as gently as we can, but there's no way to do it gently at Cadwell, is there? That's just what it is.
You described this track earlier to me as violent. Ian, would you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a strange old one, isn't it? You were really pushing as hard as you could, and was that the same thing that you were trying to deal with as well, trying to sort of feel the car and make sure you didn't overdo it?
Yeah, it's true. When I started here, I got a really good start and then hit neutral instead of third. It just didn't go into third, because otherwise I would have been in first going into turn 1. And then after that I just made a mistake coming out, I think, onto the straight, and then because I felt like I was catching a little bit. He was in touching distance. Then I made a mistake, then he was gone, and then my tyres went off, and I was just trying too hard and all over the place.
Dave, as Bank Holiday Mondays go, it's not too bad. 2 wins out of 2. I know you love this track from round these parts. It's pretty good going, isn't it, really?
Oh, you never get tired of driving around a track in front, and it's just, you just try to hold on to it with everything you can. And the West Suffolk racing team do such a great job to have that car be able to come back out for its third race and still be able to run around really consistently at the front with shag tyres is extraordinary.
Absolutely agree. And Ian, before we let you go, second place in that one, how do you reflect on your Monday overall?
Yeah, I think my day's been pretty good actually. Car problems in quali and race 1, and it kind of got together race 2, but it just wasn't fast enough.
Hey, that happens against this man every now and then. Look, lads, congratulations on a great race. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Perfect.
Good
Cheers.
one. Thank you.
Great stuff there. Well done, David Griffin. Another double winner. Will we see another here in our pre-83 touring car race, sponsored by Shell Oils? Watch for the man from the back of the grid there, Tom Harvey, in car number 47. Very quick driver. We'll have a look at the grid then for this pre-83 touring car race. Pole position, we will see number 67 Stephen Primmett alongside number 4 Simon Jeps in the Golf. Second row, 55 David Howard in the big Jaguar XJ12 alongside 81 Mark Cholerton, survived a spin to come 4th in race 1. The third row, Bradley Bosday in his Escort Mark II alongside Tim Hayes, number 87 in his Alfa Romeo. On the fourth row, Malcolm Best in his Capri alongside number 6 Anton Martin. He's back out with his Escorts. It should be Mark Lucock on row 5 with his Escort alongside Colin Claxton in the Triumph Dolomite. I think they're both there. Row 6, it is Tom Harvey in the number 47 Escort this time. Jonathan Corker, though, I don't think he's there in the little Datsun 510. He had problems in qualifying. Cars up to the grid for the second race of the day for the Shell Oils pre-83 touring cars. A few drops of rain in the air once again. The grid set by the result of race 1. Stephen Primmett in his Mark 1 Escort on pole position alongside Simon Jeps in the Mark 1 Golf GCI. Second row, David Howard with the big Jaguar alongside Mark Cholerton in his Escort RS 2000. The third row, Bradley Bosday with his Mark 2 Escort alongside Tim Hayes in the Alfa Romeo. Watch out for Mark Lucock from further back on the grid as well with his Mark 1 Escort, spun out of the lead in race 1. Also watch for Tom Harvey from the back in the number 47 Escort as well. We're about to get underway. The red lights go out and off they go. Decent start by the Golf. Good start by Mark Cholerton as well, trying to move up around Simon Jeffs. Can he take the lead from Stephen Primmett as they go into Paddock Bend into Coppice Corner for the first time? Mark Cholerton up alongside Primmett, but it's Primmett who's got the lead. David Howard's got the Jaguar up into third. Simon Jeffs down to fourth. in the Golf, but it's Stephen Primet who has got the lead. Cholerton in second place, and already Mark Lucock's very quick Escort has gained a few places. Bradley Bosday has dropped back a little in his Mark II Escort. At the back there, Anton Martin with the Mark III Escort. Good to see a Mark III out there. Here come the leaders up into Park Corner for the first time. Number 81 of Mark Cholerton with a good start there, the man from Norfolk. David Howard in third position. There's Tim Hayes, the lovely little Alpha Sud Sprint. I believe that's a cam tail, the design of that car. He's got the Capri behind him of Malcolm Best. Into the gooseneck and down towards Mansfield for the first time. Escorts first and second, and look at Mark Lucock. He's already up into fourth. He's going for third up the inside. Terrific first lap by Mark Lucock. He's up to third already. Straight past David Howard. He's got past Simon Jeffs and everybody else, and he's already going after the two leaders. I reckon he's going to be with our race leader Stephen Primet in a few corners' time. What a flying start by Mark Lucock. He spun out of the lead in race one and hit the tyres. You can see the damage to the side of his car there. That was coming onto Park Straight. Caught out by damp conditions, but now he's chasing down Mark Cholerton for second. Howard is fourth, Jeff's fifth. Then I got back to Tim Hayes, Alfa Romeo in sixth. Start to settle in then for this 20-minute race. Malcolm Best under fire from Tom Harvey. Watch for him coming through in the Mark 1 Escort. That car, in the hands of his father in race one, pulled out of the race, I believe, with a puncture. Over the line they go. Mark Lucock has gained 6 places on that first lap alone. He's ahead of David Howard, chasing Primet and Cholerton. It's Escorts 1, 2 and 3. Lovely Mark 1 Golf GTI in the colours of Akai Hi-Fi. Simon Jeffs used to race in an Alfa Romeo Alpha Sud himself. Here comes Tom Harvey attacking the Capri, going round the outside at Chris Kerr. That's a rare move. He's got the Escort through. Could he be Escorts 1, 2, 3 and 4 here if he can get through? Now his work cut out to catch. Look at that from Tom Harvey. He's throwing that car around like a rally car. That's brilliant. Malcolm Jeffs behind him, then Colin Claxton, then Bradley Bosday, who's dropped back in his Escort there. There, Lucock is right with Cholerton for second place. Cholerton has owned this car for many years. Took a break from racing while he built up his building business. Third place is Mark Lucock. He's been racing, I think, for even longer in this Mark 1 Escort. All very experienced racers here, and Cholerton's gone wide, coming through Barn Corner. Very easy to slide wide there. It is still slightly damp under the trees. And Mark Lucock's going to go through, surely, into second place. They're still side by side. You can see the damage on the side of Lucock's car. And he's going to pull ahead, I think, as they go into Coppice around the outside. Yes, he's got him. Mark 1 Escorts 1 and 2. Primet over the mountain. There's a Hall Bends. Sliding about there. It's getting damp out there again. Primet very sideways coming out of Hall Bends. That was more like rallycross than circuit racing. He's all over the place. Look at the understeer there through the hairpin as well. There's less and less grip out there. This is going to get interesting, just as race one did, as it's this part of the circuit is more damp than the rest of it, I think, now. Oh, and somebody's off. I think that's Tom Harvey at the mountain. Yes, it is. He's spun. I think he's done a Michael Seaborn. He's gone across the grass there. He's going to lose out to Malcolm Best in the Capri. Excuse me, says Malcolm Best. We'll try and see that again in a second. Tom Harvey. Oh, he clipped the curb on the way into the mountain, got sideways, round he went. He did well to keep that off the barriers, kicks up a load of dirt. Oh, he said it was like rallycross. Yeah, that was about as dirty as rallycross. That's a mixture of tarmac and dirt surface. It's been a few years since they've had rallycross here at Cadwell Park. The Alfa Romeo only just missed him there as well. There's Simon Jeffs in fourth, and is he slowing up there, the Golf? Yes, I think he is. Yep, the Golf's in trouble. Oh, Simon Jeffs pulling over. Through the fourth goes David Howard. Simon Jeffs out of the race. Some sort of a problem there with the Golf. Up towards the mountain for the last time. Up and over the top. Then the swing through the 3 Hall Bends. Onto the brakes for the hairpin. Then the short straight into Barn Corner. And then he will see the checkered flag ahead of him. Clock has counted down to 0. And here comes the man from Bedfordshire. Finally took his first win of the season earlier on and enjoyed it so much he's going to make it 2 out of 2. Here he comes through Barn Corner for the final time. Going to be 2 out of 2. Win number 61 of his career for Stephen Primet. He takes the win. Stephen Primet the winner by nearly 13 seconds ahead of Mark Lucock, with Mark Chollerton completing an all-escort podium. David Howard the winner of Class A in 4th in the Jag. 5th overall for Thomas Harvey. Despite that 10-second penalty, he takes 5th and wins Class D. Malcolm Best in 6th in his Capri. He wins Class B. Then Bradley Bosday, Colin Claxton and Anton Martin, the only other finishers. Simon Jeffs and Tim Hayes were retirements. OK, we can now head down into Parc Fermé, where our race interviewer Steve Jameson will be talking to race winner Stephen Primet.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dave. Welcome down to Parc Fermé for the penultimate time this afternoon with our overall race winner, Steve. Just chatting before we came live there, you've won that by quite a distance, made it look very comfortable at least, but you're telling me it wasn't quite like that.
Oh no, well, we had a bit of heat in the tyres, luckily, and then it started drizzling. I thought it's okay, there's still grip, and then the grip just went boom, and I had a massive moment through the trees, and I thought, all right, back it off a bit, mate, it's wet. But when you're sort of tiptoeing, you think the guys are just going to catch you straight away, and obviously they're tiptoeing as well, but scary.
Let's take a look at the grid for our final race of the day then. The Edmondson Electrical Classic and Historic Thunder Saloons and the Blue Oval Saloon Series, sponsored by Burton Power Products. Pole position will be number 97 Andrew Wilson in the Holden Monaro, winner of race number 1. And 76 Jason West's BMW alongside him. West nearly caught Andy Wilson towards the end of race 1. They finished about 1.5 seconds apart in that earlier race. Second row will be Jason Hughes, the current Classic Thunder Championship leader, coming into this weekend unbeaten in his class in his Vauxhall Vectra. Start alongside number 100 Andy Robinson with his Ford Falcon. Third row, 66 Paul Wood BMW and the first of the Blue Oval cars, 101 Malcolm Harding with the Zaxpeed Escort. Row 4, 34 David Griffin. A couple of wins already for him in the BMW alongside Colin Voice, number 121. The penalty earlier on, of course, because when he pulled up on the green flag lap, he should have stayed at the back when he rejoined, because he made up places through the grid. He should not have done that, so he was penalised. Row 5, number 96 Ian Craig BMW and 123 AJ Owen with his Honda Civic. The 6th row, 22 James Dunkley and 58 Jack Gadd, Fiesta and Escorts. The 7th row will be Jeff Steele in his BMW E30 M3 alongside Will Hunt, number 70 in his Fiesta. On row 8, Dan Mackay Fiesta, Tony Paxman Escort. And on the 9th row, Martin Reynolds with his Ford Anglia, and Paul Finney. He failed to finish the first race, pulled off with a couple of laps to go with his Ford Fiesta XR2. Behind them we will see Colin Claxton in his Escort, had problems in race 1, and Anton Martin, who failed to start race 1. Hopefully he'll be out with his Escort this time. So Jason West will start at the front alone for this final race of the day. The Edmondson Electrical Classic and Historic Thunder Saloons and the Burton Power Products Blue Oval Saloon Series. A rolling start, racing over 20 minutes. The pace car is in pit lane and we're underway. Good start by Jason Hughes in the Vectra up alongside Andy Robinson. And typically just as they get underway, the rain returns again. It's Jason West's BMW who leads them off. Andy Robinson attacking the Vauxhall Vectra of Jason Hughes ahead of him. It's BMW leads the way from Vauxhall in second, Ford in third, Ford in fourth, Malcolm Harding's Escort. Well, Andy Wilson, who was scheduled to start on pole in the Holden Monaro, must have pulled into the paddock on the green flag lap, I would think. Andy Robinson going through into second place, getting past Jason Hughes. That immense Ford Falcon, the Craig Lowndes look-alike, up into second place. It really is a stunning beast, that Ford Falcon. Trying to chase down Jason West, our race leader in his BMW, who's already checked out in front. What a shame we haven't got Andy Wilson out there. Falcon in second place, Jason Hughes, the XPTCC man, under fire from Malcolm Harding, then Paul Wood, Colin Voice, AJ Owen, James Dunkley, and there's Jack Gadd in his absolutely stunning Mark 1 Escort. Leader comes through towards the mountains. Jason West up the mountain he goes, over the top. Here comes our second place fight. Watch for Robinson getting some air over the mountain here. There he goes, over the top. Great stuff. Spectacular, these cars, large and small out there. Jaguar goes through in the 58s. Starts to sort themselves out in this first lap. AJ Owen, normally in the pre-03 touring cars, running the Classic Thunder today with his Honda, chasing Colin Boyce in his Mark 1 Escorts. Jason West with a clear lead. Andy Robinson in second place, former champion in his Ford Falcon. Over 7 seconds down already on Jason West. West clearing off up the road in the BMW. Third in the Vectra. He's also got his MG-ZR here today, but opting to MG-ZS I should say here today. He's opting to race the Vectra. There's Malcolm Harding leading the Blue Oval Saloons ahead of Paul Wood in the Deutsche Tech BMW. Start to sort themselves out. Jeff Steele's lost a couple of spots further back in his M3. Is up the inside. Malcolm Harding having a go at Jason Hughes. He's going through into third place. Jason Hughes has gone wide in the Vectra there. Is he still leading his class? Yes, he is. Classic Thunder Class C. He's unbeaten in that class this year and leads the championship. Up through the mountain. Does the Falcon take off? Almost. Well clear of his opposition. And the inside, Jason Hughes goes through into the mountain. Now, we don't see that very often. That's a rare overtaking spot. That was a brave move by Jason Hughes. Through into third place ahead of Malcolm Harding. And Paul Wood makes the move. He's through, coming into Charlie's there, up into fourth place ahead of Malcolm Harding. It matters not for Harding. He's still well clear in the Blue Oval Saloons. Jack Gadd is second in them. He's down in 8th place. Third Blue Ovaler is Tony Paxman. And now it's a battle of the Zach Speed Escorts. Which is quicker, Mark 1 or Mark 2? Because Colin Boyce is catching Malcolm Harding. Paul Wood has though, and he's away and gone. Boyce has got through on the run towards the mountain under the bridge. It's getting wet again out there. Is this going to slow our leaders down? West and Robinson. Still your leader is Jason West. Let's see what the lead gap was last time through. 17. Oh, and Harding spun. I thought he was struggling with the wet conditions. Malcolm Harding has spun it. Now, can he stay ahead of Jack Gadd, or is he going to take the lead of the Blue Oval Saloon Series? Got a decent lead. He's going again. I don't think he lost a place there other than to AJ Owen. Through Hall Bends for the final time. The Underscore sponsored BMW. Just the hairpin and barn corner to get round. Afford to take it easy from here. Comes towards barn corner. Here he comes towards the checkered flag. A dominant victory in Classic Thunder for Jason West in the BMW. West the winner from Robinson, 16.6 seconds. Jason Hughes in third. They all win their classes. Jason Hughes keeps the championship lead. Paul Wood in fourth. Colin Boyce, a class winner, in fifth position. The only other cars on the lead lap, AJ Owen, and Blue Oval Saloons winner Malcolm Harding. Jeff Steele taking 8th place. Tony Paxman second in Blue Oval and won his class, as did Jack Gadd and Will Hunt behind him. Martin Reynolds taking 12th place. And the other finisher, a class-winning Dan Mackay with his Fiesta. 13 cars went the distance. We lost James Dunkley and Paul Finney in their Fiestas, and Andy Wilson sadly never completed the green flag lap from pole position. Don't know what the problem was there, but it left the way clear for Jason West to take a dominant victory, and we'll hear from him in a few moments' time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dave. Welcome back down to Parc Fermé. Final time this afternoon. What a race from yourself there, Jason. A dominant race in the end, obviously with the issues at the start for your opponent, but at a track like this it's never quite over, is it? You've got to take it all the way to the bitter end.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to myself all the way round to make sure you don't push too hard, and it's a real shame Andy couldn't make it. I was really looking forward to racing the Holden in the wet, because this thing is awesome in the wet.
Well, it showed it for sure. I mean, conditions weren't ideal out there. It was almost that awkward level of wet, wasn't it? Not totally wet, but just greasy enough to make it really annoying for you.
Yeah, exactly. And we're on slicks. I think everyone's on slicks. So you just have to keep pushing, keep heating the tyres and hope it doesn't rain any more than it is. So great fun day out.
Yeah, with the winner of the Blue Oval Saloons, Malcolm Harding, congratulations. Another win for you in this class. It's been relentless. 6 in a row now, I think is right. Yeah. Another trophy to the collection. Pretty good Monday overall.
Yeah, it's getting there now. We're doing all right. We went out on wets in that one. We thought it was the way to go. It was good at the beginning. I was pushing Jay in the touring car around for a bit, and then sadly we run out of rubber a little bit then, and then the rain come, and then we didn't have the rubber, and then it sort of come back. Done a sort of, I think, about a 41 on the wet, so it was quite good. So I'm quite happy.
Brilliant to hear from several of the drivers today. Such a friendly club is the Classic Touring Car Racing Club. Thank you to all their drivers for their entertainment today, to their teams and mechanics as well for keeping these amazing cars running. Well done to all our winners here today. Thanks again to the Orange Army and to all our other volunteer officials here today, and everybody else for making this meeting possible. Thank you to our camera crews out there braving the rain, bringing us the action as always. Well, thank you very much indeed to everyone for watching. We'll have more motorsport coming up on a future edition of Full Throttle coming very soon, but for now, thanks for watching and goodbye.